CNBC reporting half of Americans avoid the stock market. More than half of Americans, 52%, are currently not investing in the stock market, either by buying individual stocks or mutual funds or through a retirement account like a 401k or an IRA, according to a recent survey. Among the non-investors surveyed, half of them, 53%, said they don't have the money to invest, and 21% said they don't trust stockbrokers or financial advisors. Let's see, that'd be 21% of 50, which is 10% of the population, okay? What's worse is that Bankrate's survey of more than 1,000 adults may be overestimating the percentage of Americans investing in the stock market. A study from the Federal Reserve found that only 13% of U.S. households own stocks in 2013, down from 15% in 2010. So I get a guy on Twitter fairly often, including today, asking me, why in the world would you ever recommend mutual funds? You must be getting a kickback. No, I'm not getting a kickback. Wish I was. I'd be a lot better off than I am. Give me the opportunity to pay a whole lot more taxes this week. But I do have endorsed local providers, and in return for me endorsing them, they do several things for mutual funds. They are not people that work for me, but they agree to take care of small investors like single moms and teenagers that don't have a lot to invest. A lot of brokers won't deal with the small accounts because it's not worth their time. Secondly, they have to approach investing with the heart of a teacher, not the heart of a salesman. About 85% of the people in the financial world are salespeople, not teachers, and you want to stay away from the salespeople. You want to go to the teacher. And that's a spirit. That's not a position or a business card. It's how you feel when you meet with them. Are you being taught or are you being sold? If you're being taught, you got the right guy, the right gal to help you with your decision about whatever financial product that is, including mutual funds. Thirdly, they have to agree to give you investment advice consistent with what you would hear here on the air or in Financial Peace University or in one of my books, because why would I send you to someone that would give you different financial advice? That's weird. It'd be inconsistent, and then you'd be mad at me. Fourthly, they pay us a fee. But they don't get the opportunity to pay us a fee unless they do the other three things. They pay for the endorsement. And we have about 65 people on that team that manage those relationships and make sure those people, those endorsed local providers, are taking care of you. So the reason I tell people to invest in the stock market hasn't got anything to do with money I make off of it, because I don't make a commission whether you invest or whether you don't. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't change anything. So why do I tell you to invest in good growth stock mutual funds? Why would I possibly do that when 50% of Americans don't invest in the stock market? Now, we need to keep in mind that half of that 50%, or 25% of Americans, don't invest in the stock market because they don't have any money, according to this survey. I think it's probably higher than that. But I personally invest in good growth stock mutual funds. Why would I do something and then that I think is good and then not tell you that I think it's good? That'd be pretty hypocritical and inconsistent for me to do one kind of investing and then tell you to do something else. So I don't tell you to do things I don't do. But the first thing is you can't be broke. You got to get through your baby steps. You got to get out of debt. You got to have your emergency fund in place. And then you get to baby step 4 and you start putting 15% of your income into retirement. Why at that point would I recommend mutual funds? The scary stock market and all those crooks and people on Wall Street and you get people carrying on like a beagle chasing a rabbit. It's unbelievable. The reason is that 3 times this week, I've had people call me in their 50s, 60s, and 70s that had in excess of $2 million in their 401k to retire on. And guess what they did? They made a household income of $50,000 to $150,000 in all 3 cases. Over a 15, 20, 30-year period of time, invested heavily in their 401k and good growth stock mutual funds that had long track records. And that's why I tell you to invest in mutual funds, because I want you to be a multimillionaire. You're going to be a multimillionaire if you put $10 in there? No. Do I believe the stock market is going to go down? Absolutely. Do I believe the stock market's going to go up? Absolutely. Which one's it going to do today, Dave? I have no idea. I am confident enough that it's going to go up over the long term that I have millions of dollars invested in good growth stock mutual funds, personally. And so if my advice is bad, I'm screwed too. Hello. That's how this works. So keep this in mind. I mean, this is how it works. Now, well, what about the tech crash? And what about the 2008 crash? And what about the crash with Bush and Obama? And yeah, there's always a crash. But what about the recovery? You remember when the stock market went from 13,000 to 6,500? Right as Bush was leaving and Obama was coming in. That's when it happened. You remember back 2008. And the world came to an end, and everybody's running around like Chicken Little handing out helmets. The sky's falling, right? And I keep telling folks, you don't get hurt on a roller coaster unless you jump off. Keep buying, keep buying, keep buying. Now, it was at 6,500. What if you had put in $1 million at 6,500? If you happen to know where the bottom was, which I didn't know where the bottom was, so I just kept investing like I always do. I didn't put extra in. But what if just that day that you were clairvoyant and you saw the bottom? When the whole world is caving in and it's all over the news and Congress is predicting the end of the world and they're too big to let them go bankrupt. We have to save everyone. Don't you remember all that crap? Don't you remember it? Drama queens? Okay. So what if in the middle of that, you somehow decided you were going to put $1 million in at 6,500, and that's March of 2009, I believe it was. If you put in $1 million there at that time then, based on the Dow Jones Industrial Average being 6,500, what would you have today? Does anybody know? Anybody know what the Dow Jones Industrial Average is today? I'll help you with that. It's a little over 18,000. If it was 6,500 before, and it's a little over 18,000 now, let me help you with your sixth grade math. That's 3 times bigger, okay? That means your $1 million that you put in at the bottom when the world was coming to an end would now be worth $3 million. Or if you put in 100,000, it'd be worth 300,000. If you put in 10,000, it'd be worth 30,000. Your money would have tripled. But no one talks about that. They always talk about all the bad stuff. You remember when houses went down? How come half of Americans didn't quit buying houses? Houses went down in value. Everybody was upside down. We had to have a HARP program and a this program and a that program, and Washington had to come and save us on a white horse. Thank you, Washington. Turns out, houses go up in value. People kept buying them. Long-term track record. Past performance does not indicate future. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. It's really the only forecasting method that has any tangible reality to it. So that's why I invest in good growth stock mutual funds, and that's why I tell you to. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.